I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Silly Jedi! Silly Jedi!
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Hey everybody, welcome to Star Wars Car Talk. And today, well, it's been a couple of weeks. Last week we did not have a new episode up on the stream, up on wherever you get your podcast, whether it's Anchor or Apple TV. And we didn't have the episode up on our YouTube channel. And there's a reason for that. In case you've been under a rock somewhere, you might have noticed that the world has changed. Yeah, it's been a little crazy these last 2 weeks. So I'm going to kind of share my coronavirus, COVID-19 story and how my family and I are dealing with it. And then I'm going to get to something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. And because of what has happened, now I'm able to talk about it. Mystery, I know. You have to listen to the later in the show to find out. So first of all, I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone who's listening or watching finds this message well. Everything here, everything around the world and, here at home in the States has just gone kind of crazy and intense over the last few weeks. This virus outbreak has just kind of taken over the media, taken over our lives, taken over every aspect at this point, where as a parent, my wife and I have had to kind of become homeschool parents now that the schools are closed for a kind of undisclosed amount of time. They don't really know when they'll open them up again. So it's been interesting to say the least. However, at the same time, you always got to look on the bright side. You always got to look at the positive. You should. And the positive, the takeaway that we can have right now is the fact that because everyone has been asked to stay indoors, to stay home if you can. A lot of people have been able to make arrangements with their jobs to work from home. Unfortunately, not everyone has that luxury. I myself have that luxury. Actually, I'm going into the office today just to kind of finalize a few things and pick up a few things. But I'm going to be able to work from home, which I have for the last week and a half. So, my heart and my prayers go out to everyone that is affected by this financially, emotionally, physically, health-wise. It's a very crazy thing. I mean, I'm driving right now to the office, and normally there would be traffic, there would be cars, hustle and bustle, and it looks like as if I'm driving at like 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning or something. Like there's not that many cars on the road right now, and that is a tell sign of. That's just to show how different things are right now. I'm in New York, so here in New York State, everything's been affected very, to the 10th degree. We have a lot of cases here, and the governor here has just kind of done his best to kind of contain everything. So, we have an 8 p.m. businesses have to close at 8 here, and there's kind of like a curfew where, you don't want anybody out and about after 8. So it's just a very weird time that we're living through right now in our history. We're living through history right now, so let's be mindful of that. But at the same time, let's take care of each other. Let's, definitely if we have loved ones that are up there in age, like our parents or grandparents, maybe aunts and uncles or friends that are just, older, make sure we check in on them, make sure we calling them, if they need anything. A lot of older people don't know how to use like Uber Eats. They don't know how to use like Peapod or Grubhub or, even just ordering things on Amazon and having it delivered to them. They don't know how to do those things. So if you're able to help them, order them some food, have it sent over to their house, things like that go a long way right now. just to be able to make sure that everybody stays home. So one of the things that happened to me, which is kind of crazy, is 2 weeks ago, my coworkers, a good friend of mine that I've worked with for over 15 years, stayed home sick. And he was basically out the entire week, just kind of struggling with headaches and fever and just body aches and all the symptoms of that you would think would be like the flu. Oh, he got the flu. But they're also the same symptoms that is the coronavirus. So he stayed home, and it wasn't until the later on that week that he was able to get tested. And then that weekend, he sent us all a message basically saying, my test came back, I've tested positive. That means all you guys in the office, meaning us in the office, should get tested as well. So it became this whole big thing that weekend where, it kind of sucked because, we were celebrating my 3-year-old's birthday, and we had to turn our parents home and say, don't come over. We've just found out that we need to quarantine and we can't be around you guys just in case. And, it was kind of scary. So we did that. I got tested right away. Everyone in my office got tested, and, thank goodness we all tested negative. The test came back a few days later. We were all negative, but we're still asked to work from home and kind of stay in a self-quarantine situation. So and my friend, by the way, he's doing well. I mean, he just had struggled with this fever and headache and achy body scenario for almost 2 weeks. And now he's finally kind of like back to himself, to his old self, health-wise and everything. So I think he was maybe one of the lucky ones that he kind of had to experience this virus and everything that goes along with it. He didn't get the respiratory or the chest, hard of breathing, or even the diarrhea I hear is a symptom now. So he didn't get that. He just basically got headaches, really bad migraine, body aches, and fever, which that's enough. I mean, to go a week and a half, 2 weeks at home dealing with that, it just sucks. You especially like when you have a fever, it's like you start almost like hallucinating. You can't even sleep well. So all that to say, we thank God that he's doing well, and he's back to normal, and I'm hoping to see him soon. And but anyway, so that's our story. That's what we've been doing. We've been home, plus school's closed here, so we've been having to kind of homeschool basically. It's become this whole new thing, this whole new life for my wife and I. We set up like a little, their playroom. We set it up as like a little classroom, and it's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. I tip my hat to all the people out there that homeschool. I truly tip my hat to people that choose to homeschool and do it successfully, because it's not easy. And you have to have the right heart, the right spirit about it, the right attitude. You have to be. I mean, you got to be patient as a parent as it is. So your patient level has to kind of increase exponentially when now you're just home. There's nowhere to go. You're home with them, and you got to get through this material. But at the same time, you got to entertain them. You got to have time for yourself. It's it's been a big adjustment. So all that to say is the one thing that that's been great is the positive is that we have been able to just be home with our kids and be home as a family. I mean, I've always kind of thought and kind of dreamed of, oh man, it would be great to be able to just work from home and just be home. And now I'm experiencing it. So it's like, be careful what you wish for kind of thing. But at the same time, it's been great. I can't complain. I mean, yes, I can complain. It has been tough and all that, but it's, we have a roof over our head. We have food in our kitchen. We have a healthy family right now. And, as long as we're together, we'll be okay. So, and that's, I think, the takeaway here, that people, I hope, come out of this whole thing when we do finally reach the end, or hopefully the end of how everything is right now, is that I'm hoping that we'll be able to get back to normal, but let's not go back to the way we were. Let's learn from this, and hopefully we would have learned to take care of one another and take care of ourselves, and just enjoy enjoy the little things. Like right now, we get to enjoy the little things, like just being home, like just not being distracted with that idea of like we have to go out, we have to do things, just be home. I mean, the fact that we've been home for this long, we haven't spent as much money. We haven't gone out to eat as much. We haven't, just gone out and wasted fuel just driving around looking for things to do. And we've had to kind of be creative, and I think that's another positive that we've gotten. So, anyway, that's my spiel. This is a short episode this week. The one thing that I did want to touch on, and this is the thing that I did get to do this week that was kind of really cool, is my boys and I, the Jedi Toy Masters, we finished watching the Clone Wars series previous to this new season. So we finally got through season 5, season 6. We topped it off. We finished it off. And what a great way season 6 ends, with this whole journey that Yoda takes. I had seen some of those episodes right around the time when they aired, like shortly after. They were on like rerun, I remember. And I remember catching a little bit. But because I didn't have the context of watching all the other seasons of the show and like all that history that had built up, it wasn't that much of a takeaway. And at that point, I had been kind of lost touch with Star Wars in a way, because after the prequels were done, it was like mentally I had moved on, and I was actually looking forward to this live action Star Wars show that George Lucas kept saying he was going to do, and I was kind of really looking forward to that. So I didn't really pay any mind to Clone Wars, and to my shame, because it's such a great show. Now watching it now, it's a great show. So finishing up the seasons. And being able to watch, I mean, we were originally just going to watch the episode 1 of season 7 and just kind of like do it slowly. So, because every week a new episode is released, so we want to kind of take our time. But the episode, this storyline with Captain Rex trying to go save his old friend Echo, and at the same time you were introduced to the Bad Batch. This was amazing. I mean, the fact that this is like almost like a 4-episode story arc that has absolutely nothing to do with the Skywalkers, with Anakin's journey or even Ahsoka's journey yet. We're not even touching on that yet. This is all Rex, and it's amazing. This is all about the clones and Rex and setting up what we end up seeing in Rebels, where it's the return of Rex. I think that was amazing. That's just so awesome that Rex gets his day in the sun here, and we do get this nice. It's not nice, but we get this cool moment, this intense moment with Anakin, where I forgot the creature's name, that like insect crab looking creature that he originally was in the storyline where the clones realize that they have the chip in their heads and Order 66 and all that. And this general guy for the Separatists, like Anakin just murders him. Like he just kills him. He like pierces him through a lightsaber. It was kind of in self-defense, but you see right there the kind of like the intensity of Anakin and the how easy it is for him to just lean in a little bit to the dark side. And that obviously pays off when he kills Dooku in the opening scenes of episode 3, and then obviously everything else that happens with him. But that was really cool. So we watched what was it, like the first 4 episodes, 3 or 4 episodes, I think, if I remember correctly, which is that story arc. And the next episode now is kind of like the introduction of Ahsoka here in season 7. So we haven't watched that one yet. So we're really excited. We will probably watch it this Friday and catch it, and then kind of be caught up at that point. We'll watch that one and whatever other ones come out after that. And but we're super excited. It's so cool to see Clone Wars come back for this season. It's watching that intro, that opening, and that opening sequence with the narration and everything. It's like this show didn't skip a beat, man. It's crazy to think that the last time we saw Clone Wars, like season 6 ended what? Like it was like right before the Disney acquisition or right after. So you're talking about like what, 2012 or maybe 2013 that they just stopped. Yeah, maybe it was 2013 because after that, that season ended and they didn't continue it. So, which was a shame that they did that. But it is so cool to see them back. I'm really excited. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Mandalorian season 2. We find out this week that Ahsoka is going to be in season 2 of The Mandalorian, and they've cast Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. I mean, that's like the fan favorite. I think it's amazing that we're going to see a live action Ahsoka. I don't know how I feel about Rosario Dawson because I was kind of hoping that they would cast like an unknown, in that role so that we're not too distracted with the fact that it's Rosario Dawson. I mean, I think at this point, like she's done so many, her body of work is so big and varied. And she, she was in Daredevil. So she's been in the Marvel universe. So now seeing her in Star Wars, it's a little, I don't know how I feel about that. I hope it works. I hope it's not distracting. I hope it ends up working out. But it's so cool that we're going to see Ahsoka in season 2. I hope it's not like a one shot. Like, I hope it's not just like one episode. You see her for like a 5-minute thing where she's just passing through. Hey guys, it's me, Ahsoka. And then she's out. Like I hope she becomes an integral part of season 2 and maybe even moving forward. I really hope so. I think it would even be amazing if you get to see her in the Obi-Wan series. I think that would be amazing. Or even in the Cassian Andor series, that would be amazing. I mean, I just think there's so much you can do with Ahsoka. Ahsoka is kind of like the bridge between the prequels and the original trilogy. And man, maybe, you know what? Imagine if they would have brought Ahsoka in. Like in this sequel trilogy, I was hoping that when they cast Benicio del Toro in episode 8, when I heard that and I saw the image of him, I was like, man, I was trying to do the math and I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if he turns out to be Ezra from Star Wars Rebels? Like aged, worn out, like maybe he went into hiding, after the events of Rebels and, all that stuff. Maybe he went on some adventures and that's it. He gave up, the Force or whatever and being a Jedi or training to be a Jedi. And here he is kind of like worn out. And because Luke is on this island or whatever, maybe he comes in to help. And now you have the beginnings of the Jedi again. That would have been amazing. And, and even if like at that point you introduce Ahsoka as like an older Jedi because she is older than Luke. So, but anyway, I digress. There's so many things you could have done with the sequel trilogy. It's kind of a shame. And now we have this weird Palpatine plot that basically undermines everything that has happened in all of Star Wars. But I digress. Clone Wars is amazing. This new season is shaping up to be the best yet. And the fact that we're going to see a live action Ahsoka, like after this series wraps, then we'll have a little break in the summer. Star Wars Celebration is going to happen in the summer. We're going to see some cool things there. And then in the fall, we get Mandalorian Season 2 with Ahsoka. That's just awesome. That's so cool. And then like that'll lead us right into holiday season, which we'll probably see like Force Friday, and we'll see some Star Wars goodies in the stores. And then hopefully by next year, we'll see Obi-Wan, we'll see Cassian, we'll see a lot of cool stuff happening. There's a rumor that there might even be we might even get a sequel series to Star Wars Rebels, which I think would be amazing. So anyway, that'll be a nice connection tissue between what happened at the end of Star Wars Rebels leading up to Ahsoka's introduction in The Mandalorian Season 2. So a lot of cool stuff happening. Anyway, again, I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you guys are home. You're taking care of yourself, washing your hands, don't touch your face, take care of your kids. Take care of your loved ones, take care of the older people in your life, and just be careful out there. We're going to get through this. Our country, our world has gone through so many ups and downs. This is just one of the downs. So, you know, we're going to get through this, you know, faith over fear, you know, hashtag faith over fear. If you checked out one of our videos on our YouTube channel, you can see our story. We have a video up on that, and we have a couple of more videos on the way where we do some toy unboxing and just have some Star Wars fun. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you like, please subscribe. If you're listening, please also subscribe and give us a nice review on iTunes. That will really help us out. Spread the word. Star Wars Car Talk is here. We will have some guests soon, I promise. And guys, may the Force be with you.